everyone, thanks for joining us at Hangry. Diana here. Today we're going to make a tomato tart. Over the weekend I was lucky enough to be able to forage in my friend's parents' backyard here, and they have so many tomatoes that they don't know what to do with all the tomatoes, so they gave us all these tomatoes to take home, and I'm going to show you just how much there is. These are all the tomatoes they gave us to take home. We are going to need 1 roll of puff pastry already ready to go. You're gonna have to follow the box instructions to thaw it. You're gonna need some Parmesan cheese, and then you're gonna need 2 medium-sized tomatoes, something this size. It is August, so please try to get your tomatoes from a farmer's market. If you're gonna buy tomatoes from a supermarket, please don't buy tomatoes from the supermarket. They're just not that good. Got my 2 tomatoes here. As you can see, there's some blemishes on these tomatoes. I think that's okay because we're gonna roast them anyway. You want your tomato slices to be about 1/4 of an inch thick. You wanna arrange them a single layer flat. I mean, don't they just look so nice? If you wanna skip this part and like just jump straight to making a BLT, I'm not gonna be mad. We're going to salt these tomato slices. Got a sheet tray with a cooling rack here, and I'm just going to flip my tomatoes over so the salted side is facing down, and then you wanna salt the other side. And what this does is it's gonna obviously draw out moisture, and then you at least have like a drip tray for the moisture to go. So we're gonna let this sit for half an hour, and then we're gonna come back and prep the rest of our tart. We're going to grate our Parmesan cheese. We're gonna grate using a microplane. If you have a box grater, that's also awesome. We're not gonna be shy with the parm. I'm just gonna transfer it over to a plate so we can roll out our puff pastry while we wait for our tomatoes to sweat. Parm. So you've got your puff pastry on the counter, and I noticed that mine felt a bit more damp than usual because I had it defrosted in the fridge. So you want to sprinkle a little bit more flour so that it doesn't stick A, to your rolling pin, and then B, to your countertop, and then you end up with no tart whatsoever. And when it comes to rolling, I like flipping a little bit more often just to ensure that you don't get any sticking on the counter. With this, I'm just gonna roll it so that it kind of spans the sheet tray, and then I'm gonna roll this back up, bring my sheet tray over, lay it over the sheet tray. If it doesn't cover the sheet tray, you can always just pull it to the ends. I don't really have a preference, so I'm just gonna leave it in this very organic shape that I rolled it out. Since we're done with the puff pastry before the tomatoes, which are back there, are done sweating, I'm gonna put this in the freezer so that way the butter stays cold, and that ensures that we get flakiness before we are ready to assemble our tomato tart. So see you back in like 15 minutes. I just transferred it to a sheet tray, a half sheet tray. And what you want to do if you want to make this look super nice, you can make a pattern with the edges. So what I want to do here is just fold up the edge, sort of create like a little lip. Then we're going to go with a fork, and that way you have a thicker crust. And I mean, like, who doesn't like the crust piece, right? We are going to turn on the oven. We're going to go for 400 degrees. Oven is preheating. We have our tomatoes, and I think we're ready to assemble. You're gonna take some of your parm cheese. We're just gonna sprinkle the bottom of our puff pastry, and then we're gonna arrange our slices of tomato. Now we're gonna go with some black pepper, add the rest of our parm cheese. Next, I'm going to drizzle with some olive oil. Not a whole lot, but some, just to get some color. And then we're gonna put this in the oven. We are gonna go for 12 minutes. Oh my, steamy. We are going to rotate our tart And then we're gonna go for another 12 minutes. Okay, we are ready to take out. I know we're really tempted to dig in, but for the sake of not burning the crap out of your mouth, we're going to let this cool for 5 minutes before we cut and serve it. So I transferred the tomato tart to a cutting board so that it's easier to slice. And then I've got some basil leaves here that I took off the stem that we're just gonna rip and garnish. With a serrated knife, we're gonna slice this. Let's take a slice. Try a piece, shall we? Let's try a piece, shall we? It's cheesy, you get the tomato, get a little bit of basil, really good tomato tart, super simple. If you like this video, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'm Diana, and thanks for tuning in to Hangry. Bye.